Good afternoon. It is December 29th, 2025. It's 12:30, so half an hour till the market closes to the public and hour and a half until the daily chart prints its candle. So here's what we're looking at for today. Really just a range day, but in the morning we sold off pretty strongly, and then right at market open, I think that was pretty much right when the market opened. We started rallying. Let me get this. So yeah, the bottom was 6:19 a.m. The market opens at 6:30 a.m. So somewhere in here, yeah, this bull candle, the market opened, we got a pretty strong rally, uh, beyond a 50% retracement of this move down. Then we test a low, make a double bottom, and we just go back and forth really. So here's what the daily candle is looking like. And this, I was looking at this earlier and I was like, if anyone in my head, I'm saying if anyone is anticipating this being a tail, for the week maybe. So if anyone was anticipating this being a tail, they could buy an early sell off. I didn't, I thought that, but I was like, I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to retest this EMA, but right now it's looking like that's what's happening. We're finding support at the top of this range. And it looks like this might have moved a little bit, but I think would I have had it here? The lows, I'm thinking the lows. I probably had the lows here and the highs like that. Because this high looks like the most, that has the most touches right here. Boom, boom, this high, and now here. So the weekly chart is, yeah, it's looking like the bulls are trying to create a tail. Uh, let's look at the monthly chart because we just have a few days left. And not looking like a whole lot of anything. I really think we are just going to be going sideways, chopping up and down for perhaps the whole year of 2026. Um, but I think it's going to take a long time. We're going to get to this, the bottom of this channel. So anyway, let's go back to the 1300 tick chart and take a look at what we're working with. So I did go long down here thinking we might correct back to the EMA. This looked oversold to me, and it just seemed like a decent entry point. A good way to exit would be to get out below this bar, but eventually it would stop you out if you didn't get out, and then you can get in here. So it's all about your management. You could enter here, you could enter here. Um, I think either one is reasonable, but you need to be managing it well. So yeah, this is a good place to get out on this one. It's not it's not one you want to hold on to and keep hoping. And this one here, I think you want to take partial profits at the EMA and try and swing the rest, and that would have been great. This was just a range I had drawn here. So I had this range drawn, and I thought if it broke out, people would take profits there. And you can see they did, but it just kept going. It wasn't convincing enough for the Bears. And let's take a look at why. Um, so it looks like a strong bear trend. This is the first time we're breaking above the EMA, but we don't have any strong consecutive bear bars here. And this is just a common pattern that I see. You get an overshoot and it kind of chops back, and then you get what I kind of call like a double overshoot. I think if you study Al Brooks, it's kind of like a double bottom, lower low, major trend reversal. That's what happened here. We got a trend reversal. Um, but yeah, no consecutive strong bear bars here. So I think that's probably why Once you didn't get a follow up after this, it just kind of took off, and we made a high above this area, and as soon as we made a high above this area, the bulls took their profits. You can see we sort of get a spike and channel down. So can you go long in here? I mean, I think you I think you can hop back in. Uh, I do think it's aggressive, but I think you can hop in here. Uh, I I wouldn't blame anybody for taking a short here below this bar. You know, this now looks like we moved too far too fast. This is the first time we have a gap above the EMA, and you get those four consecutive strong bull bars, and then it stalls. I think you're going back to the EMA. I think it's safe to go short there. Just manage your risk, you know. And then we get this bear channel that I'm not too crazy about taking trades in, but I think it's very reasonable to take a short with a limit order here. I don't know if this channel looks too broad to be very optimistic about a stop order below this bar, but I think you could do it. I like this. I like buying down here. Again, we have, prices trying to sell beyond this level of support, and we have prior support down here, and the bear trend hasn't really been strong. So when it slows down here, I think that's a reasonable place to get long. You can see some people took profits at the EMA, but the move continues uh, beyond that, and so we do get like a spike in channel. There's too much overlap in here for me to be optimistic or um, think that any of these entries are great. Get a lower high here, but signal bar is no good. So again, it's not really a great entry. You get a strong bear move here to the lows, but I think that you know I don't think you want to just take the first bull bar you see. I think you could. I would say enter take a small position here on a limit order maybe. But you got to know where you're gonna put your stop and um, you know maybe you could do something like if you don't think it will make a measured move, you could do something like that. But that's pretty big. It's pretty big risk. That's 15 points. So, and if you just think you're going to go back to the EMA, let's say you enter here at 46, 15 points for a 4-point move is not ideal risk reward ratio. So again, we get a kind of a weak bear channel here. So just like over here, I think on this confirmation right here, you could enter on a limit order if you're anticipating confirmation. Um, and I don't really like any of this. You have clear support down here now, so technically you could go long, but it's a bear channel. Um, Again, I think you could take a long here, but the question is where do you put your stop? And this one's a little easier than over here because you could just copy and paste this channel, drag it down, and if you enter on a limit order, put your stop just beyond the measure move. So I actually kind of like that one better just because you know where your risk should be. But at the same time, this is a very common bear trap. So anyway, we get a lower high here. I think you're better off waiting. You're at the lows to sell, I mean, because you're at the lows of the range. Boom. I think This is a, you have a wedge bottom here. One, two, three. Let me just write that out. Uh, so you have a wedge bottom. You got three pushes down below the level of support that we've been working with all day. Yes, these bear bars look strong, but you can see there's some bull bodies in there. We get an inside bar right here. I mean, not the most reliable. Maybe you just take this high or low. But I mean, I think it's very reasonable to consider getting long in here. You have an overshoot of this fairly weak bear channel, and that would have been a very nice move. Can you get long in here? You could argue for it. We're at the low of the range now, so it's like a failed breakout. But there's a lot of overlap in there, so I think you probably want to sit that out. But it is a second entry long, and this one here, after you get a few bull bodies in a row, I think you can consider entering, as this kind of just looks like a 50% pullback from this move. Yeah, it is. So I think that's a very reasonable entry. So that's pretty much it for so far for the day. Uh, I'll be back tomorrow.